Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving break. I did, and I took several days off from trombone, and it felt very, very good. In the past, I was always very scared to take days off. I've not taken a purposeful break of several days in like years, probably like 7 or 8 years, because I'm so scared to come back and just fight the horn and just sound bad for like weeks. And so I just don't take days off, especially multiple days off. One day is usually okay. But I felt a lot better about my playing recently. I think a lot about it, of course. I do a lot of work, I do a lot of practice. Even when I'm like performing in real life, I'm always treating that as a way to get better. And guess what? That works if you do it for a long time. And I have several tools, right? So I have tools to work on my air, I have tools to work on my chops, tools to work on my ears, all sorts of stuff like that. And, sometimes those work, but sometimes they don't. So I want to talk about a fourth set of tools, I guess, that can kind of act as a magic wand. And of course, magic wand in trombone land is a lead pipe. Ah, I want to talk about this fourth set of tools that can kind of circumvent those earlier tools and also just make them work better and get us closer to the eventual goal, which of course is making beautiful music. Every time we pick this up, every time we blow through it and make some noise, the goal is to make music. It might not feel like it sometimes when you're just hacking away through arbans or playing scales or whatever, but these are always stepping stones to making beautiful music. And the weird thing is, you can use that final goal as a stepping stone itself. I think some people will probably find this really obvious. I didn't until probably kind of recently. That I didn't know that you could use that eventual goal as a tool itself to get to the final goal. It seems kind of strange that you can use the goal as a tool. And what that goal and tool are is just making great sound. So, to put that in context, probably like a month and a half ago, something like that, I was at work. It's early in the morning. I've just driven for like an hour to get there. Feels really bad. I'm warming up. I feel like I'm doing everything right. Like my chops, I feel like I've got a pretty good setup. Air feels like it's moving. Like it doesn't feel awful. It doesn't feel great, but it's working. But the result is garbage. I can tell. I'm like, this is not good sounds. This is not what I want to sound like. I don't like playing like this. It's not fun to be really inefficient and tired, and like I can just feel myself just getting like a lot of like muscle use here. But my air is really like I'm using too much air to play at the same time. It just feels really bad. And usually on those days, I'll kind of hack through that for about 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, whew, we'll see how that goes today. But this one day, I was like, you know what? No, I'm really tired of just not being able to warm up and kind of having like an entire day where I slowly start to feel better. Instead, I'm going to pull out that magic wand. La Wingardium Leviosa. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to think, sound better. Bing! That's it. That's all I thought. That was my magic wand, my magic tool. I was like, you know what? No, not happy with this. Sound better. Instantly, everything relaxed. The horn felt more like it was part of me rather than I'm holding this weird metal thing out in front of me. I could feel small things change in my chops. My air got more efficient. Everything got instantly better. And all I thought was, sound better. That was it. That was the only thing I did. Everything got so much better. Now, there's a couple things about this tool that you have to remember. One is, you can't sound better without knowing what to sound like. Thankfully, I play around a lot of very good trombonists, very good musicians of different instruments as well on a regular basis. So I just kind of suck that knowledge out of them and put it into my brain. So I hear lots of very good sounds, literally day to day, like playing next to these people. I listen to a lot of trombone music, sometimes, not all the time. I have a pretty solid sound concept. I have something to strive for. And if you don't have that sound concept, that's something to strive for, and you haven't heard it live often, then when you go sound better, it's probably not going to be quite as effective. I'm not saying it won't work, but you do need to have that thing to sound like, or it's not really going to work. And the second thing is, if you want this to remain, if you want this to keep working down the road and not have to do it every single day, sound better, it's good to write this stuff down. So when I did that, sound better, I felt small things change. Like some stuff in my chops changed. For me, it felt like my corners were kind of pushing forward. There's something about my tongue position. My air felt a little bit different, and I literally wrote that stuff down. I'm like, you know what? It's cool to have this magic tool, but it doesn't mean much if the next day it's all gone because I just forgot it. And so I literally write this stuff down when I discover it, because without me writing it down, my brain sucks. I cannot remember anything ever, and it'll just go whoosh. So this way, the next time it feels really bad and I'm like, I don't want to use the magic tool every single time, I'll just get this out and be like, oh yeah, I just need to do this small thing, and feels so much better now. Literally one of those things that I discovered that day, I used today, coming back to the trombone for the first time in a few days, instantly felt better. Without having to use the magic tool, my sound, everything got better, and I can just kind of relax and play the instrument rather than think of how to play the instrument. So, use that magic tool, but remember the requisites for it. Remember that you have to have a goal to strive for, and it's best if you can remember what those changes are so you can use it next time. That's all I got. I'll have a video probably, I don't know, tomorrow, talking about the state of the stable, probably, and that's all I got. Bye-bye.